I just want to say I did clean the table, but that in there, I can't get to that. Oh, well, the table is extended. If I fold it, I can probably clean it. But I wasn't prepared to do that, now or today. So, yeah, I want to cover it up. Yep, it is a scream to my eyes. Apologies to you too. Yeah, that is unsanitary. Should I just turn it off, right? Yeah, but if I start another video, it will just be not to bring up this subject in the same video as the other things that I would have to say. How do we move on? Okay, apologies to YouTube. That's clean soap. Yeah, I don't apply soap to something that's not clean. That's in there that needs to be, I don't know, cleaned with water. The soap is if it's already clean and then you want to freshen it. I don't want to put soap on there even though I have soap right here. Apologies to YouTube. This hair did not come out of my head. I have illegal in this apartment, and I also don't know where this came from. The stains in the middle of the table. I just burped. This is not my order to be here. I can't make it really better. It's low money to be here. Like, it's deceased, and then I get something to eat, but I'm running out of time with that. I am not expecting another delivery or any other deliveries. Tongue clicking. What's that about? You don't have enough things to say you're sorry to YouTube about in one video. You also want to click your tongue. Let's talk about that. Get it all out. Shout, shout, get it all out. These are the things I can do without. Oh, let it all out. Okay. Shout, shout, let it all out. These are the things I can do without. Come on. I'm talking to you. Now come on. Tears for Fears, right? I am a child of the 1980s, and I remember that song. I'm shouted myself now. I know what that means. Or you could say, I've been to NBA basketball games and I've seen the coach shouted. The coach shouted at the NBA basketball games means he didn't get out somewhere. Another problem, you have to cough. Did you swallow the wrong way and you have to cough? Father. Say all your apologies in one video. We want to move on to some other subjects, or don't make the video. Rest when you want to do something, cough or disturb myself. Then you don't do that and you don't make a video and you just rest. How about an extra hour of sleep every day? Thank you. I am fine. I have homeless. NBA coach shouted means he didn't get out on time. When he shouted, we don't know why. Because he's not myself. Yeah. It's his prejudice collapsed and he shouted. My prejudice collapsed and I'm shouted, but I'm God deceased here. I'm shouted the order. I shouted the whole order is deceased. I have something to say about myself deceased in the threatening. I'm homeless in the threatening and I don't know what to tell you about your money. Have you been trying to do a crime with somebody? You want to touch me in the nipple? Stop everything. Drop everything now. Meet me in the pouring rain. I am fine. We just want you to know, the creator of myself and myself, we just want you to know that although I make many videos and post them on YouTube, I have certain glitches in myself being created. So I'm filing my complaints with the creation of myself, and if I post it on YouTube, that is for the creation of myself as well. Now, I am perfect, if you know what I mean, but nobody's perfect. Like, this is a low place to be. So I do low things like burp and sneeze. But I don't like to excuse the overlord. For me, it should just be from time to time, unintentional. But the overlord is creating myself, and I think you should really have some like a limit it to what I can afford, which is from time to time, not intentional. That I might cough or sneeze or have an itch, then scratch an itch. Well, tell the people here what they like. Do you have a perfect life? Are you healthy? Do you have a doctor? Do you live around people and you're happy and you're feeling good? You're elated. Well, I don't afford that. I'm not elated and you are. I should be elated because I have nothing to lose. You're elated and you don't know why. Shout, shout, let it all out. These are the things I can do without. Come on. I'm talking to you. Come on. Shout, shout, let it all out. These are the things I can do without, so come on. I'm talking to you, come on. I'm thinking about my statement, I am not expecting another delivery of supermarket food or anything. I'm thinking about going forward in time and I find myself still alive, and then I try to contact my feeder and leave a text message for himself what I want to order. And then I would see it either would not come here and then I would have a problem there, or it would arrive and then I would say, oh, I remember when I said to YouTube that I'm not expecting another delivery. So YouTube's not expecting another delivery, right? Well, I don't know, how is this going to end for me? Well, I never die. I always want to die and I never die of cause of death. I don't have what I need. And what about I have alive and I need some things? I need to have needs because I'm alive. So let's say I don't die before I run out of supply of the most recent last delivery. So if I am alive, say 10 days from now, I'm gonna need another delivery because I'm gonna have more needs because I'll be alive and I need things. Yeah, how do you get money for that? From anyone. My feeder doesn't owe the money. Mitchell doesn't owe the money. He owes himself deceased. And I need that he not come back here and make trouble for the money. Does the supermarket even care that one of my clothes racks is missing? Is that what they wanted me to know about me asking for food from a supermarket to be delivered here? If I ask and you didn't already bring it to me before I asked for it, you're the ones in the wrong. Are you just gonna say, yeah, but there are it's chain of supermarkets. There's so many Smith's supermarket locations. Or what about Albertsons? Or what about Vons? Who at any of those supermarkets in Las Vegas knows what you want or when? That's you being a very sorry excuse for occupying a supermarket. What are you doing in there? This is off, low, 1, 2. I'll leave it at 2. But I think maybe 3, but it's at 2 right now. Yeah. So my new cleaning technique is, well, first let me start by saying, disclaimer, I do not clean a hoarded apartment. I want God to give a death on the hoarded apartment because it has hoarding in there and He won't move His big around all the things that are hoarded in here. And why should I? Cleanliness is next to godliness, but I am making an argument. I did plenty of cleaning for godliness. Well, what about if I don't want to do the cleanliness is next to godliness? Would somebody else do the cleanliness and I would still live in the godliness? That's what I mean. How to clean up a hoarded apartment. So God did shrink the stove from my point of view. He made it smaller, but He didn't move it back flush against the wall and it would be even. This front part of the stove top, even with the countertop of the sink right here, it's off by about this much. And when He shrunk the stove from my point of view, He did not push it back against the wall. And I can't move it because I don't have full height myself. I think it's too heavy to move it. Yeah. How did it get here? Someone delivered it here and plugged it in, I guess, because it's working now. I can see the orange light on, if you know what I mean. So you couldn't push the stove back to the wall. Here's what I mean about being even. It should be even here and here. That should be even. And there's some extra space back there. And God didn't push that back when He shrunk the stove. You're not really very forthcoming about that you shrunk the stove. I'm talking to Superior Founder, creator of the stove. Yeah. Well, you're giving me a small mental problem. I'm trying to say it on YouTube. That's what it looks like to me. This should be pushed back here, at least as close as possible. There is a little bit of room back here. I know you're not going to clean the wall, huh? You didn't want to clean the wall when you shrunk the stove. After all the things I've done for you. So today I used the sponge and the dish soap, Dawn. I had the tap water on to um, start the cleaning, and I cleaned. Well, I started to run it to get it hot. Okay, so that would be steamy hot water, and I filled the Dawn whatever was on top space. I filled that with tap water, and then I could use it as soap, and it's really thin soap, but it makes a lot of foam, bubbles, soap bubbles, and then I wiped down the whole stove top and the sink area and the tabletop, but I couldn't get in the crack of the table where it folds because it's a foldable table. I couldn't get in the center opening in between the two parts of the table to get that clean in there. Not today. So I did clean that the stove did shrink. Otherwise, I don't want to clean it because God didn't have, well, I didn't ask him to shrink the stove, but I found that it was smaller and I offered to clean it for God. Yeah, that was nice of you to say that you wanted me to be here with this shrunken stove. And you're telling me I have a mental problem that I can't really prove it to anyone on YouTube that the stove shrunk since I've been making videos and posting them on YouTube. Do you want to compare this to some older video, maybe a month ago, and see for sure that this stove is, I don't know, a certain size big, right? And then look at this video and see that the stove looks smaller. There's really no way to tell on YouTube. That's what I mean. He's trying to trick me in my mind and make me think that it's all in my head. Yeah. Well, it looks smaller to me. Well, I'm smaller. I know that. I already said that I lost between 2 and 3 inches of my own height. But this stove has only been here for, I don't know, about a year or how long? Charles Till ordered this stove off of his cell phone. I know he's not here now, and that was since April. I have not seen him. It's November now. So how long was the stove here before Charles Till did not return for at least until now? I don't know. Not more than a year. What happened to get a new stove? Well, there was a discrepancy between GERI, Jerry the landlord, and Charles Till. So I reported to Jerry that there was a strong odor in the apartment. It was so strong in the apartment I couldn't be in there. When I was finished with my statement to Jerry, GERI, I came back to the apartment, opened the front door, and I let all the bad air out the front door. So I don't know, how long did that take? Let's say 20 minutes or something to let all the odor out of the apartment. But how to make sure that the odor doesn't return. I also made a statement about what I saw about the old stove, the one that was there originally. But the next thing I knew, maintenance came to pick up the stove and left an empty space. Charles Till called on his cell phone to order a new stove, and he had it delivered here. And I don't understand that between Charles Toe and GERI. I don't understand that. There's really nothing to do with the odor in here. Well, if Charles Toe is still here at that time, what about the odor? How is she going to make sure he doesn't make another odor like that in here with the other oven and stove? Well, I can't prove it. It's just my testimony. Does anyone have any regrets about how this has ended? Because I don't see Charles Toe anymore, and that could have been solved another way. I was wondering if you think there's some kind of an agreement that Charles Toe can even be here. Well, I reported to Jerry something that was different about the apartment, which was the odor was really strong and foul. Really bad odor. That's why I reported to her it's not myself. I'm not alone in there, and I need somebody who knows that there's an odor in this apartment. But to come and take this stove out, and the stove didn't make the odor unless somebody turned it on. Maybe I need a new stove, and Jerry could replace it. But I didn't turn on this stove and cause the odor, was my testimony. Well, she just charged me for that I turned on this stove and made an odor. Why are we paying her to be a landlord? Do you think that's acceptable in God, that you can be squeamish, that you don't have all your ducks in a row, and I have to live with it? I'm clearly more the landlord than she is. She just charged me with that I turned on the stove and made an odor, or the stove made an odor, but it won't turn itself on. No, it doesn't turn itself on. It has knobs. You have to turn them on. Somebody did that. Somebody made something in the stove and oven that made an odor throughout the whole apartment, and it wasn't me. So why are you like that? How do you expect to make up for the difference that God knows who made the odor and how and why? You may want to fight with something that doesn't fight back with you by abducting a stove out of here without having a witness that it would not repeat. The stove I can use that the stove is replaced, but I would really rather not have Charles Toe be the one to order a new stove, and he's going to kill it. He just threatened God that he was going to do it again to another stove and oven. What does that have to do with me? I didn't make the report in that scenario. God made the report. He was just talking through the walls to Jerry in that scenario. Hearing doesn't make sense, right? I put it on 4 now. I want it hot. So if I want to make this soup mix, it says 4 cups of chicken stock, and I don't have that, and it was not offered with the soup mix. If I had a lot of time in the supermarket on a schedule, what about this schedule being made by some kind of management, supervision? What if that management is checking to make sure you're on the schedule because they want to make sure that the store is staffed at all times? If I am hired, I should say to the management, I cannot ensure that your store is staffed at all times. Because that's putting the pressure right on myself, the employee, that I have to be on this schedule on time. I have to be there for this store must be staffed at all times that it's open. Because I'm looking at why nobody cared. Because you're American. It's not true that you don't read and write and that you know how to pay attention to details. You can be fastidious, but I am persnickety. I don't have this stock and I can't ask for it. And I've been saving this. I can make this, but I don't have this stock. What don't I need? If I was working there, I would send 1 pound chicken breast raw, and I don't touch that. I need the store to come and pick it up. I don't touch raw chicken. No, 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 no. Like, for example, if it comes, it'll be like a styrofoam bottom, a piece of raw chicken on it, and then a plastic wrap over the top, and then something that will tell you how much it weighs or something by the pound, and how much it costs, because it's already been weighed, so it has a price on there for its weight and what it is and how much it weighs per pound, what it is, that's on the label. And they do that somewhere in the meat department. I don't go there. I don't do that. If somebody from the Smiths was to read these directions and bring that here, because it's on the directions and they know that that's how this would be made, I would have to call this store. I would make a report and say, come and get the chicken because I don't cook raw meat. And then they owe me restaurant food. They owe me a restaurant that would cook the raw meat for me. Maybe not that raw meat, but if raw meat is cooked, I need a restaurant order to do it. I can't cook it myself. And I also want to tell them that I did grow up on my mom figure cooking raw meat in the house, and I don't afford it. I tried to cook for myself, but I don't need to cook for myself. I can eat that somebody else cooks for myself, but I'm not selling my sanity for somebody else to cook for myself and then they eat, because the debt my mom is so high that I try to cook for myself and I have more debt than that. I don't have full height anymore, and I don't grow more. I don't grow up to more height, like from being 5 feet 6 inches tall from 1991 until 2025, let's say, to be taller after that, because I must change, because my height must change. It doesn't, because must change does not grow more. Because must change did lose about 3 inches of my height, and my head is enlarged. I don't know how to say how big it is. Yeah, I have an enlarged head. So, so do you have a truth-telling problem? Do you accuse each other of that you don't fully see somebody being honest with you and telling you the truth, and you think they're a liar, and you think that you don't want to be around a person like that, right? Okay, let's say that's true, that you believe in something about the socialization of people. But you have a legal genital penis, and when you talk over the penis, you don't start from the beginning. The penis is a debt, and you don't have a beginning to start with. I'm making some small statements about, I think what I can say is closest to stating the order, and with myself being speaking about the order, maybe as much as all can be in agreement. So, including my personal opinion. For example, I don't cook raw chicken, okay? Whatever you think of it. I just don't do that because I think it's not safe for me. I don't know how to cook raw chicken. I think I should not eat that undercooked ever, and I don't want to know I think now that I'm an adultery, I can say that I have to bake the chicken and then I have to sear it like in a frying pan. And I don't understand. If it's raw chicken, I want to throw it out in the dumpster. Yeah, I don't actually want to touch it. I don't want to try. I don't want to try and bake it. I don't think it's enough. No, bake it all the way until I'm sure that I won't eat it and then throw it out. I definitely don't want to touch the raw chicken. But if a restaurant cooks it for me and serves it to me and I am hungry, I will eat it because a chef killed it. And I don't think I have what it takes to cook raw chicken. I don't think I can kill it. Similarly, I don't think I can convince you that I am God deceased. I don't think you'll ever really believe in me. Okay, 3. Down to 3. What I want to do is set this down, facing down on the stove top. And then I want to be able to set it over the food again, and that's unsanitary, okay? I don't want this to be facing the stove top is, I don't know, not clean enough. What if it was clean? You can't really do that ever. Okay, but this is too hot to touch it. So I can set down the handle this way. I have to take this out of the pot because I don't want to cook it. It's not really that clean. I'm using it in an emergency. Well, I need to use this pizza tray because it's clean. I can pick it up and put it underneath the sink's faucet and move the handles and clean it. I can't really pick up the countertop and do that. I can't do that with the stove top, run it underneath the tap, and use dish soap to get it clean. And I also would like to be the only user. I can't use share kitchen anything. I don't want to share it because the touch, I need a clean touch just myself, for myself. Okay, I'm going to add a little milk, but I need the temperature down low because I don't want to, so I'm turning it down to 2. It's boiling. Yeah, the chili is bubbling on top. So I'll add a little milk now, but I don't want to cook it for very long. Okay. Is that enough? Keep going. Okay, it spilled a little. Yeah, I don't like that. Well, I tried to keep it clean. I don't want to drip it anymore. Okay, that needs to be cleaned up. Okay, so that should heat for a little while. It's on 2. So why is the world so different from what I am? And yet, sometimes when you challenge me, threaten me, what would I do under certain pressures? I'm possibly able to state the order, and I get by where I don't have any money to give you. So you are paying transactions, you're making payments, and they are from one angle bribe because I am alive here. I think you don't see the order the way I do because I am here and alive to freeze the banking. And there's no withdrawal of money. There's no spending of money. If you have money, you have to bring it to the bank and report the money to the bank, and that the bank must hold the money and freeze it in the bank because it's the bank's money. And then if the bank is full of money, the staff have to evacuate the bank and lock it up with the money in there and no people in there. And then you can stand outside the door of the bank until further notice. And that's a police matter. That's the police needing to be outside the bank and to make sure nobody goes in there. Though you'd have never done that in front of me. That you would close up a bank because it's full of money and you want to freeze the money in there. And the police will change because the police will move around. And then, so what happened in the bank? That's God having done deceased money in the bank. I don't have any deceased money in the bank for myself to spend it on your charges that I don't know you. And I would pay you the money because the price is posted and you're standing there. And you're not supposed to charge me the money because you think I stole something if I don't pay you the money for the store to replace whatever I removed from the store. It's removed in that scenario. Whatever I carry out of the store. You want the store to replace it with the money that I leave behind. I alive the stock, and you don't know that because you pay the transactions, all of them. If you paid some of them, you don't make arguments the way you must because I'm alive. You pay all the transactions. That's really you not knowing I am me. And I am alive. I alive the stock. It's not really that you have to pay for the stock to alive, like that you carry something out and that if you leave money behind, God will replenish what you took out so that you don't everybody carry out. It could be done in an hour. If you have an hour of shoppers in the store, they all check out their carts at the checkout, and then the whole store could be half empty by that all those people left with things from the store. So that's why you want people to pay the transaction. But that's them seeing that something moved out of the store. So what if it's just one shopper and let's say I'm a checker and I check out one customer over 3 hours. I'm standing there for 3 hours and I only had one customer. So do I charge them the money? No, right? I'm not really going to miss it at what they took out of the store. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with it is that customers coming, if I have a line of 10 customers and they all carry stuff out, that's too much stuff going missing. If it's all 10 full shopping carts, that's too much going missing all at once. So I'm the cashier, I have to charge money for that. But you don't know. You don't know that because you charge for everything. Yeah, but I alive the stock. I alive it if I can. If I can't, you can't threaten me that I must. Okay, so there's a spill. How do I clean this up? And I still want to save this milk, but since I spilled it, I should really throw the rest of it away because it's spilled. But what's in here is like, I don't afford to throw anything out because I was a child-sized Godhead. So when I was small, you have to have, you really can't afford to pay for anything when you're growing your height as a dot. I grow my height and it's a debt. I get older and it's a debt, and I can't afford anything extra because it was small to begin with. So I want to save it for that reason. So it goes in the refrigerator, but there's milk on the bottom and around the sides. That's from the soup mix. Okay. I did not prepare soup mix today, and I did not open any soup mix, but I'll wipe that up as well. Okay, so that's, I guess I just wiped milk all over, like I spread it around. Yeah, the sponge is, I don't believe this sponge. I just spread it around. Well, the soup's like ready, so I'll serve myself, but I need to clean this up again. So the stove coil is too hot. Okay, I made another spill, so I'm glad I didn't clean up after myself. Yeah, I made another spill here. Well, I don't have a ladle. Yeah. The one who brought me the pot for that I'm going to make soup, he didn't bring me a ladle. But he brought me a Tupperware I didn't ask for, and I'm using it. But he didn't bring me a ladle, and I'm not using it. Michelot. We're done with Michelot. Yep. I don't afford another delivery from Michelot. And the Smiths didn't take over, that they're here in Las Vegas, and they're going to deliver the food because I'm in Las Vegas. And Michelot already told them, I'm from Wisconsin, and I don't have other money because I was small. Michelot knows that I was small. Yeah. Okay, to be continued about cleanup. For me, I don't think I'll do that on the camera. So Cheryl, Sheryl. Okay, so Mitch Hello is not solved, deceased. I see Mitch Hello with Cheryl. I see Mitch with Donna. I see Mitch with Hans. I see Mitch with Steve. And then Mitch added that he is maybe living with, most likely, somebody with another Cheryl, but spells it Cheryl. So there's Sheryl, and then there's Cheryl. And Mitch is not deceased to any of these people, to me. And I don't afford it. I don't afford it. And the supermarket won't give me food because Mitch is not myself. Cheryl's not myself. Cheryl with the C is not myself. Donna is not myself. And I call her mom, and she's not feeding everything because there's such a thing as Mitch and mom are not deceased to each other in front of me. And dad and Mitch are not deceased to each other. They're not deceased to each other in front of me. And I don't know how to get supermarket food out of the supermarket. You want me to get a job? I know, but all I can do is that somebody might die. I can't really help you if someone's alive. There's no way to get money away from somebody who's alive. So what do you want at the supermarket? You want me to give you money from somebody who's alive? I know, but that's you starting a problem that doesn't exist. If I don't ask them for money, they're not a problem to me. You want me to just have a problem that I ask somebody for money, and if I don't ask them for any money, they're not a problem to me. You just want me to have a problem. Do you take money away from that person so that I can eat food from a supermarket? Why would I? If you wouldn't do that, why would I? Because that's criminal. That's you just trying to put me in jail because I want something out of the supermarket. But I am the soul of the superior founder. I alive everything. I alive. I alive everything in the supermarket and more. Everything else. I alive everything. That's what I mean. You shouldn't make charges because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to make a charge. Exactly how I just described. You don't know how to make a charge. You don't know how to press charges on somebody. You have to say, you're not the soul of the superior founder. You're not allowed to take anything out of the supermarket. We have to pay it out in God. And then if somebody says no to you, you actually have to take no for an answer and you have to leave the store. You can't just say, I am here for the store. I'm going to tell you what the store's policy is. You can't do that because I don't have a policy, do I? Everybody who is not allowed in the store. If you're a cashier, you're not allowed to be in the store. You're a shoplifter just like anybody who's shopping there. Well, I'm talking over my genitals are deceased and declared to be mutilated. And I'm waiting for the end of the formed world to be deceased out of my genitals, mutilated. I'm living in mutilated genitals, and I am talking about the threatening. And you're not supposed to tell me to stop or leave a comment and tell me I'm wrong because I need deceased while I'm living in mutilated genitals. There's something wrong with me having to say that. So, the mute button, when you're watching TV and you have a remote control with a mute button, so you can touch the mute button and then the TV sound will be off, but the TV is still on. You can see the picture. I have mutilated genitals, so technically I'm not making any sound. Yeah, but it's speaking because I'm illegally alive. After that, I should be deceased and I should not have to see myself anymore. Well, I'm trying to pay for that, but I know you don't want to be charged. That's why I have mutilated genitals. You don't acknowledge me at all with yourself. Taylor Swift. I don't want to keep secrets just to keep you. Cruel Summer. Taylor Swift songwriter. I don't want to keep secrets just to keep you.